This is Create, Engage, Succeed with your co-hosts, Mary and Amadeus. This week's guest is...
Welcome to this special edition evening time of the Create, Engage, Succeed show. This is your co-host, Mary Nunley, along with my sidekick and co-host,
Amadeus Nunley.
And we have got a fantastic guest today. And for those of you that follow our show on a regular basis, you know that we normally go live earlier in the day. However, our guest today, Jono, is coming to us from the land down under. And so we had to accommodate for the time differences. And so it's like, yeah, let's hit everybody right at dinner time here in the States. And it's like, what, morning time for you?
Yeah, it's 8 a.m. You were like going live later today. I'm like, later? It's 8 a.m. You know? What time do you go live? 3 in the morning?
Yeah, so for us, we normally go live around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Daylight Time. So that would be in the middle of the night for you. So this is a special dinner time edition. And I am so excited to introduce you to Jono. I met him, as most of my guests, our guests, I've met him online one of these days. Maybe I'll make it to Australia to meet him in person. But Jono, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And then I'm going to let you and Amadeus guide the conversation. So take it away.
Yes, thank you for that very kind introduction, Mary. So in a nutshell, I actually run 2 businesses. So my major business is fitness education online. Now that business is all about, it's an online course business for fitness trainers. So somebody that's a qualified fitness trainer, personal trainer. I've got a whole suite of courses that helps them grow their fitness business. That's essentially what I do there, because I used to be a personal trainer myself. I used to suck at running a fitness business, did a whole heap of courses and got better at it. And I was like, okay, hold on. Now I've got a system that works, and then I can teach that to other trainers there. Now I've been doing that since about 2014, and a couple things started to happen. Number one, because my major system in the fitness side of things is basically, hey, run a fitness boot camp and you can make 6 figures a year working about 60 minutes a day. All right. It's a pretty good hook. Most people are like, what? This sounds pretty good. I could do that. So that's what I teach. And by teaching that, I was actually able to make $1 million myself a year selling these online courses. And there were a couple things with that. People started to be like, hold on, Jono, why would I do this, make $100,000 working? You're making $1 million selling these online courses, teach me how to do this online course side of things. And I was like, hold on, and also myself as well, because now I haven't been a trainer myself for a few years now, so it's sort of, like not losing touch, but I'm probably more passionate about that online course side of things than I am about the actual fitness training. So just recently, in the last probably about a year now, I've started up a Facebook group and then a membership as well, helping online course creators sell more of their online courses. So that's what I do in a nutshell there.
That's excellent.
It's fun. Yeah.
How do you take physical fitness training, that kind of thing, and turn it into an online course? Because that's something that we hear frequently from people. Mm-hmm. I can't teach skills because I have to be in person.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's a few things with that. So also with my fitness education online courses, they are tailored to fitness trainers, right? So people that are qualified fitness trainers already. That part does make it a little bit easier for me, right? Because I'm not just, and let's just say, and also like with a couple of my courses are sort of spread out. Some of them are like business based. Some of them are like, hey, here's how you do sales, marketing, social media. Then the other half are physical based. Here's how you use kettlebells. Here's how you use medicine balls. Here's how you use, TRXs or suspension trainers or whatever it may be there, right? So there's that side of it there where half are business based, half are practical based. Let's talk about the practical based ones because I think that's more appropriate for your question there. Mm-hmm. Those practical ones, it is a little bit easier because I am training fitness trainers. But even if I wasn't, I have sold online courses or online workouts just to the general public before. And really, it's just a different way of doing it. And it's just like, fitness, I think, is an easy one to be done, providing you've got a camera. All right. And I think the other note as well is it's never going to be as good. All right. And I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I'll sort of, I'll get back on. Let's just use fitness as an example, right? In a traditional sense, you've got like online programs. Someone could buy my online fitness program, right? Somebody could attend my fitness boot camp, where there's maybe 20 people and the one trainer, or someone could do a one-on-one session with me. Now, simplified version, you're going to get the best results if you do a one-on-one face-to-face session with me. It is what it is. I can spend 60 minutes just with you. It's going to be better. The next best thing is probably going to be the group thing. It's like, it's not going to be as good as one-on-one because there's 20 of you there, right? But I can still, there's an hour class. I can give you at least 3 minutes of individual time. And then there's some other advantages as well. The online side of things, you probably won't get as good results because I'm just not there. I can't watch every single rep. I can't make you do it, So it's just understanding that and being like, hey, it's probably not going to be as good as if you were there face to face, right? It's not. There's no going around that. But there may be some advantages. Let's use us as an example. Let's say, Mary, you wanted to do my fitness program. Cool. Hey, you got two choices. You can fly to Australia and do my one-on-one sessions, or you can do my online one. Look, the online one isn't going to be as good as if you flew to Australia and, did it with me there, but it's still allowing you to train with me. And hey, guess what? It's not as expensive as my actual one-on-one training as well. So I think that's how I would look at it for someone there. Just admit it. It's probably not going to be as good as if you were there face to face. Let's call it, it is what it is, However, the price is probably going to be one benefit. It's probably going to be cheaper than if they did one-on-one with you. And either way, it still gives them an opportunity to work with you. And there may be some other advantages. You can do it at your own time. There might be a Facebook group there. There are other advantages as well. So that's how I'd look at that.
Oh, I like that. And I like that you said it's not necessarily going to be the same as.
Yeah.
And that's an issue that I think a lot of new course creators struggle with. It's like, I'm a coach. I need it to be the exact same thing as being in the room with me.
Yeah.
And I think you did a great explanation of that. It's just like, it's never going to be quite the same. And look at all these other benefits that you can still get. So that's powerful.
Well, and especially right now where everyone is online anyway, as I'm sure you're very used to, you don't really necessarily have that luxury of, oh, well, I'll go into the one-on-one. So actually having that there is a huge boom too.
100%. And that was huge over here in Sydney, because especially a lot of trainers think like that, because especially if you've got like a face-to-face physical training business, you're biased towards saying that, nah, don't do these online stuff. They don't work. They're crap. The only way is to actually go to a gym and do it, But if you go in that mindset during lockdown, that's the one advantage of lockdown in Sydney. Any trainer with that mindset had to flick it, and some didn't. Because if you go in there with that heavy mindset, no, online's never as good as face-to-face, that's fine, but you're now out of business, right? Or you can slightly, you can slightly tweak it and be like, okay, hey, it's not as good, but it's better than nothing. So, and that's another way to look at it. If it's like, same with that example there, like it's not an option for Mary to come and do one-on-one training with me in Australia. Get that out of your head, The only way it's online or nothing. What are you going to pick?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess, and I know I've got a question. I got a follow up for you though. As the fitness instructor, as the course creator, what are the benefits to you by not doing constant one-to-ones? Because, you're limited by time and space and money. Like if you can only do 5 sessions a day, even if you charge $500 a session, you're still limited by time. And then if somebody gets sick or doesn't show up. So what are the benefits of this online model?
Awesome. Yes. So simplified version, money, time, and location. All right. So let's use that same model again. So if you're doing one-on-one, there's only so many hours in a day. Even if you could work, let's even simplify. Like a physical trainer literally can't do more than 8 to 10 hours a day. Even that, you'll be exhausted. Even let's say 8, but even any job, let's just say you do back to back, you do 8 hours a day, whatever, right? You're limited. You've only got those 8 hours. You're limited in your income and you're limited in your time. All right. The next step is the group, which is better You know, if you do sort of group training, okay, great. You only need to work one, instead of doing, 10 hours in the day, okay, run one session and get 10 people in that one session, So it's like, that's a smarter way to do it. Instead of working 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours, you're now working 1 hour. But the limitation with that is you're still working that 1 hour, right? And there's only so many people you can get in that one class before the service starts to drop. Okay, 10 people, no dramas. 20 people, yeah, no dramas. 30 people, and probably it could be a space. It depends where you're training. Could be a space issue, a safety issue. Could be a regulation issue. There could be a legal issue. Hey, one trainer is only qualified to train X amount of people, depending where you are in the world there. Whereas if you've got an online model, it's no time. Right. And if we look at it, let me compare those two there. So even when I was doing boot camp, I was working 1 hour a day. I thought I was the king of the world, yeah, 1 hour a day. This is awesome, but it was still like, let's say I made a sale, I still needed to fulfill it. Let's say someone inquired, I gave them a call. Yep, here's my boot camp. It's awesome. Come and do it. Great, sign up. It's a 12-week challenge. I had to actually do that fulfillment. I had to make sure, Amadeus comes to the session. I text him if he's not there. If he's there, I've got to give him a good experience, all that sort of stuff there. Whereas online, if it's a solely online course, once you make that sale, done. Hey, I still might do the sales call, but great. Amadeus signs up. Great. Here's your login for the course. Assuming I've got that course set up properly, I never need to hear from him again. It's not like and if we compare it with one-on-one, and this is why I'm not a huge fan of one-on-one coaching myself, for that same reason. There's a lot of high-ticket coaches out there. Hey, charge $2,000 for your program. Great. But if I've got to spend an hour of my time every week with Amadeus, I'd probably prefer, hey, here's my nothing against you, Amadeus, but, an hour with anyone there, I'd much prefer, hey, here's my $500 course. It's not as expensive, but there's no fulfillment on my half there. And then the other advantage is location, right? Let's say when I was running my face-to-face boot camp, I was only working 1 hour a day, but I was still tied to living in Sydney. I couldn't really take a holiday. I could, but I'd have to, bring someone in to do the sessions and that sort of stuff there. Since I've been 100% online, it doesn't matter where in the world I am. It's like there's a conference in the USA. Great, I'll fly over there and attend it. There's even this one situation. I met a girl online, but she was in Brisbane. And I'm in Sydney. It's about it's a 1 hour flight, but you got to fly it. And we're talking online, this and that. She's like, hey, come to fly up to Brisbane on Monday and meet me. And I was nervous, but I'm like, I've got no excuses. I can't do it. I've got or like I'm busy because I'm like, oh man, I can just work anywhere in the world, So I flew up in Brisbane. The relationship didn't work, I think after 3 days she got sick of me. But at least there's that opportunity, you're online. You're not tied to a particular location. You can learn from anywhere. I work from anywhere, and you're not tied to time at all. Obviously, like any business, the more time you put in, the harder you work. The more you're going to get out of it. But It just makes it an option. If I did just say, hey, I'm just going to not work for 2 weeks and have a break or whatever it is, obviously my business might take a bit of a dip, but it's still going to run. 2 weeks probably wouldn't, to be honest. But it might take a little dip, but not as much as if you didn't actually work face to face. You'd be gone if that was the case.
Excellent.
Definitely.
Amadeus, you got some questions.
Yes, so I'll give you a fun one off of what you said earlier. So you said you kind of just realized you made $1 million out of kind of nowhere. What are some probably tips or advice you would give to the aspiring other people who have their courses and would really like to make $1 million and not have to work?
Yes, 100%. So it sort of depends on two things, right? Or there's two different pathways. It depends on whether you have a validated course yet or if you don't. Okay, so I'll use my example, how I did it, which was a validated one, and it will make sense and we can go more from there, right?
Okay.
So essentially with me, I was running a fitness business. I used to suck at it, all right? But I still loved it. I was like, I love this. And it sort of got to the point where it's like, I got to make a call. I got to either get good at this business, because I was living at home with my parents at the time. I was in my 20s, it wasn't too bad, but it's like, I can't, if I want to, move out, live on my own, get a mortgage, have a wife, like it's not enough money for me to do it, So I need to make a call, and I need to be like, hey, I either need to, grow this business, or I need to go and get another job, and I really liked it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go all in at it, And that's a whole nother story about, mindset and all that sort of stuff as well. But in a nutshell, I said, look, and actually, I'll ask the question. So I was running a boot camp franchise, and there were 75 different locations all across Australia and New Zealand, right? And you were ranked on how good you were, essentially. It was a 12-week challenge, and the more of your clients that came back for the next 12 weeks, the better you were, right? Because if you ran a challenge and half the people didn't come back, you probably weren't good at what you did.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask both of you two, out of 75, one being the best, 75 being the worst, what do you think I was ranked? What's your guess, Amadeus?
34-ish?
I wish. What do you think I was ranked, Mary?
57.
75.
Oh,
right?
okay. Well,
Dead
just
last.
reverse 57 and there you go.
Dead last, right? And I knew 74. 74 was not a good trainer, so the fact
Wow.
that I was 75th, right? But anyways, I sort of said, all right, look, I got to do something about it. What am I going to do? Look, the first thing I'm going to do is take a course on how to run a better boot camp, And I booked myself into a course, and it was great. I learned heaps, and I learned heaps of workouts as a result of it. Learned some strategies on how to get new clients. Implemented every single thing I learned, and did some other things as well. Obviously, read some books. Went on YouTube, read some blogs. Just implemented everything. And then 12 weeks later, I was ranked in the top half, and that was huge for me. It was like 75 to 35. I'm actually on the better half. This is good. Let me go and do another course. Went out and did another course and read more books and watched more YouTube videos and more blogs, and then 12 weeks later, I think I was in the top 20, 15 or something. I'm like, this is good, went all at it, Then the next 12 weeks, I was in the top 10, and then in a 1 year period, had to go back to the same conference where they did the rankings from last year. Now take a guess what I was ranked 1 year later. Amadeus.
Definitely top 10. I'll say 4.
Or Mary?
I'll say 2.
Number 1.
Awesome.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yep. And mainly from educating myself, right? Going to different courses, reading, mentors, going to other classes, yada, 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 And then, the second year was still ranked number 1 and actually opened up a second location as well. So, and there were a few things there. I was like, okay, hold on. I've got a system here, I've got a system that works and that any idiot could do. I was ranked, if I was ranked 75 and I can do this, as long as you're not, you can't be worse than me. It's impossible to be worse than me. So I had a system there, and I was like, and I was still going to all these courses, but there were a couple things. It was like, number 1, none of them were tailored specifically for like a fitness boot camp, right? Some of them were just general business. Hey, go this and we'll show you how to be better at sales, but everyone will go, whether you're a hairdresser or a real estate agent or a fitness trainer, whatever, right? And look, sales is sales. There are obviously, principles that always work, but I was able to make it specific for my situation. Okay, great. This isn't going to work if you're a fitness trainer. This isn't going to work if you're a bootcamp instructor, but this is the ticket, So if I was teaching it just to bootcamp instructors, you don't need to know 1 and 2 skills that much. This is the one you need to know. And then even in the fitness space, there were some courses that were more tailored for trainers in a gym. Let's use kettlebells as an example. It's a world apart if you're working at a gym and you've got a rack of 20 kettlebells and you're training one client, and you've got an hour just to train that one client. Whereas if you're running a boot camp and you've got a handful of kettlebells and 20 people, and you're spreading it out, it's worlds apart. So I was able to, in a nutshell, I was able to be like, I can put something together that's better than anything out there, but also different, okay, which is a key as well, So it was like, I've got this course here that I know is good and I know has a different angle. And it was half validated in the sense that I would be going to courses myself as a personal trainer, and there'd be, 10, 20 personal trainers in these courses as well. So it was like, and I didn't know this at the time, but now looking back, I knew that there was already a market. I didn't have to say, oh, is anyone going to buy this course? I'm like, man, there's every single week, or not every, but every month there's a course and there's all these fitness trainers there's a market for it. It's just like, how can I get my share of the market? Right. And also I didn't know this at the time. This is one thing that Russell Brunson talks about is the opportunity switch, right? My course was essentially giving people a new opportunity. It's like, hey, you're a one-on-one trainer in the gym, and you're struggling. It's not your fault. It's because you're a one-on-one trainer at the gym. The boot camp model is the one that works. Go and do this thing here, right? But anyway, that's a bit of like pre-research where I just sort of got lucky. It was just like I didn't know at the time, okay, make sure there's a hot audience and make sure there's an opportunity switch. And, I didn't know all of this stuff at the time. It was just sort of like I was able to look at it and be like, right, there's a market. There's a hot market of these type of people that are already buying courses. How can I just get my share in there? So I think that's a good message for the listeners there. It's like you can take out a lot of the guesswork if you're like, okay, there's already this niche of people that are buying stuff. Just how can I get my side in there, right? So that's the first part. I then put the course together. All right. Now it's me and a business partner as well. So if I'll say me, I'll say we, I might do it interchangeably. But so me and my business partner put this course together, right? And we put it together. And we also got it registered with Fitness Australia, the body over here, right? Which was just sort of like, it gives us some credibility. It goes up on their website. There's some extra audience, yada, yada, yada. Put this course together, got it registered. And it was always a side thing. I was running a boot camp and it was just like, hey, he could be an opportunity for some passive income. It's not going to be my major thing. I'm focusing on my boot camp, But like and I didn't even do anything. And then like I got an inquiry a couple of weeks in. And they were like, hey, Jono, I'm on the Fitness Australia website. I see you've got this course here, but I don't see how to buy it. There's a link to a website, but it looks like your personal training website. How do I even buy this course, And I was like, oh, yeah. Look, I'm just in a meeting. Let me call you back, because I didn't know I'm like, how do you sell things online? This is 2014, right? And I was running a face-to-face boot camp. People would come into the boot camp and I'd give them a form to sign. I'm like, how do you do this online? Did some Googling and I'm like, oh, PayPal is an easy option, and even then I had to Google how to use PayPal, how to get a link, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I found it, sent her an email back and I was like, yep, just go to this PayPal link and sign up. She signed up, whatever. I was nervous at the time because also my course was essentially a Microsoft Word document with a few unlisted YouTube videos. That's really what my course was. It was awesome content, but I was essentially selling a Microsoft Word document. So I was a bit scared. I'm like, man, this person's going to ask for a refund. She's going to say they hated it. Is it too basic? But got the feedback, and the feedback was awesome. I was like, man, this is so good. I've never heard this stuff. Best course I've ever done. I'm like, okay, And then like a month later, I think I sold another one. A month later, sold another one. By about 3, all the feedback was really good, and I was like, hold on. I've actually got something to be proud of here, So that was a big thing. And then also I was like, hold on, I've made 3 sales doing absolutely nothing just by having it on this random website. Imagine if I actually did something, So that was sort of the kickstart, and that's sort of the validation process. And I think it's a good message for people listening where it's like marketing is important, but you can't market something that the market doesn't want,
Yes.
At that stage there, I was like, all the boxes were ticked. It's like, great, there's a hot market. They're already buying these other courses. I've put a new opportunity out there. People have bought into this new opportunity and they've said it's a really, really good course. Off to the races, let's go and do it. And from there was the first. So then I sort of reached out to a mentor. Right, my mentor, the person who ran all 75 different locations, right? Because I'm like, all right, I run one, this person runs 75. There was, something about marketing that I don't, when we reach out. And they said, hey, what you got to focus on is email marketing. They gave me a course that they did, which was worth like $5,000. They gave me access to it and said, look, go through this, email marketing. And actually, we'll go back a step as well. The other thing I did was start a Facebook group. Okay. It was because I didn't know what else to do. I'm like, well, how do you find these people online? Like, what do you do? Right. So I started a Facebook group and I already knew a few people in the industry because I'd been working. I knew other trainers, conferences, whatever, So I was able to start a Facebook group and get a few hundred people in there just from my friends and people I knew in the industry, So it was a start point. I got a few emails, this and that. Did this email marketing course and, started to send out regular emails and I would make sales every single week. Instead of just waiting for a month and getting one random website to come in from the Fitness Australia website, I was in more control. And that was the major thing. I didn't want to play the waiting game, like, oh, let me just sit back and hope that someone signs up from there. I felt with email, I was in more control. But the down point to that was, so I'd send out an email every week. I'd make a sale or two every week, but I'd also lose a few subscribers every week as well, right? Which is natural. That's gonna happen with email marketing, right?
Mhm.
But I didn't really have a system to replace them, right? Because it was sort of like whoever was in the group it wasn't really growing. It wouldn't grow by as much as the unsubscribed, in a nutshell. And I only had maybe 200 people on the email list. And I'm like, oh man, like I can't, it's not a sustainable method. Yeah, I'm making some money, but if 10 people are unsubscribing every week, like by the end of the year, I'm not going to have anyone left on this list, So I was like, all right, how can I get people in there? And I was listening to a lot of podcasts at the time, and Facebook ads was the ticket at that time, and I was like, all right, let me go all in on Facebook ads, hired a mentor again, paid $5,000 for this mentor, most I'd ever paid for anything in my life, right? My car cost $2,000. This mentor cost $5,000, so it was a big thing. And the mentor was rubbish in a nutshell. All right. Pretty much after a month, I didn't make any more sales. Right. So it was a waste of $5,000. So I paid the idiot tax there. And nothing against mentors, but exactly. It's a good lesson to learn. But I still saw the opportunity, even though I didn't make any more sales, I saw the opportunity there. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I reached out to another mentor, paid him another $5,000, but I did my homework here. Right. It was like, right. Now I've actually checked, okay, this person has a long list of reviews. They've got a money back guarantee, I've got a few friends that have worked with them. Okay, they tick all the boxes. It's a safer investment there. Let me go and do that. Did that there, and best decision of my life, right? Because from there, I learned how to run Facebook ads, and I was getting regular leads coming in, right?
Nice.
Let me think of the simplified way now it was easier back in those days because you could get leads for like $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest mistake I've made in my career is not going all in then. I was getting leads for like $1. You know what I would do? Or maybe not, maybe like $1 to $3, and I would just be putting $5 a day on Facebook ads. And I'd be like, yeah, I got a lead or two today, knowing what I know now, I should have put $500 a day on there. I would have had, 500 in there. But what I had there, what I got to there is essentially a working funnel. Okay. So what I was able to do, and I'll just give a simplified version now that'll make more sense. My courses cost about $500, right? I'll put $500 a week on a Facebook ad. All right. Now I'm getting leads for about $10. Okay. So if I put $500 a week on Facebook ads, I'll get about 50 leads. Right. Now, I know that about 1 in 10 will buy. About 10% will buy. All right. So what's the math on that? So and let's say 50 leads, I'm going to make 5 sales. Okay. At $500 is $2,500. All right. Take away your $500 ad spend. I'm profiting $2,000 on the front end. It's like I'm putting $500 in and I'm taking $2,000 out every single week. Okay, that's but the best part of that is not necessarily that front end, it's the 50 leads, mm-hmm. right? That I'm also getting there. So that funnel, that's the other secret, is just having a working funnel. If you can have something where you put X amount of dollars in and you get more than that back, plus you're building your list, because then I'm also selling to my email list as well, right? So the advantage of that there, the simplified version is the bigger your list is, the more money you will make. That's essentially the answer, right? You want to try and build your email list as quick as you can. But then the question is, you don't want to waste money building your email list. You don't want to say, hey, let me go and spend $10,000 to get my email list to 10,000 people and then try and sell them to that, because you're out $10,000, right? What you essentially want to do is, how can I make $10,000 and also build my list to 10,000 people, so I'm making my money on the front end and I'm making my money on the back end, right? That's the simplified version. Yeah, that's the secret. If you don't have a working funnel, you're just gone, because you've got two options. It's like, all right, let me just throw money at Facebook ads let me lose money on Facebook ads and hope that I make money, on the back end with my email list. Or it's like, hey, I don't want to, waste money on Facebook ads, so I'm going to spend all day, building something organically, and then try and sell that way there. But organic's a bit harder. There are ways as well to do it organically, but it's not as easy as where I can just turn on a Facebook ad and just get in front of new people there. But that's more me. But I guess if someone's listening to it as well, like there are other options if you can have a working funnel. Like it might be a matter of you're a YouTuber. Okay, great. Every YouTube video you put out, you put out a YouTube video, but there's a link to an opt-in. People opt in there, they buy your thing from there, yada, yada, yada. But it's the easier. Yeah, anyway, I'm probably getting a bit off topic, but
but it makes sense because it also comes down to when you're first starting out, what do you have more of, time or money? So
yeah,
I may have more time as a first-time course creator. I've validated my idea, but I don't have $500 extra a week to spend on Facebook ads. So I can take that more slow growing organic route, get some sales in, and then maybe it's a combination of organic and ads, and then always building that list because you own your list. Facebook owns you.
Yeah, exactly. And I've learned that one the hard way. I've had restrictions from everything. They'll block this ad account and then, put a restriction on your Instagram. And, there's all these things that can come up there. But it's no dramas if I've got an email list,
Yeah, no, that's cool. So we're almost out of time. Amadeus is always our timekeeper. And so he's like, hey, we're getting close to wrapping it up. First of all, I would love to have you come back another morning for you, evening for us, because this is the first half, and we still don't know how you got to $1 million. So we want to bring you back for the $1 million
come back for
question.
part 2.
Eyes leave them wanting more. But if somebody is interested in working with you, learning from you, improving their fitness training skills, I've actually tagged Amadeus's former tennis coach in this because he's got some ideas too. How do they get in touch with you? How do they work with you? How do they find you?
Yes. So best step if you're in the course creator space is just to join my Facebook group, the Course Creator Community. I'll give you the link and we can, throw it wherever this goes. But yeah, the Course Creator Community Facebook group. It's one of the largest and most engaged Facebook groups in the world for online course creators. So that's the best option. Join that group there and then, see what I do in action. You'll probably opt into some funnel or join some webinar and whatever. But the first step is, join that Facebook group.
That's excellent. Well, I think Amadeus and I will be joining that Facebook group.
I think so.
Would love to have you in there.
Yeah, no, we'd love to be there. So last question. If I'm just getting started, I woke up and I decided I want to be a course creator. What's the first thing you'd tell me not to do?
Oh, not to do. Okay, good question. I thought you were going to say to do, which I was planning some things in my head. Okay, first thing.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Okay, now that's a tricky one, right? Because I feel like I'm a fan of taking action, and I feel like if you take action, one or two things are going to happen. It's going to work and it's great, or it's not going to work and you're going to learn from it. All right. So I think anything you do is better than nothing. The one thing it's such a good question. So I would probably say maybe just a mental side of things. I would maybe say, don't expect that you're going to put a course together and it's going to sell itself. There's a whole range of things you got to work on there. So, and it's going to be slightly different for everyone. So I'm not going to tell you not to do something, but I think just go in with that mindset. You're going to try something and it's not going to work. You're going to invest in a course and it's not going to work. You're going to do what I did and pay $5,000 for a mentor and it's going to go down the drain, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I learned so much what not to do from that mentor.
Right. Yeah. I think we've learned just as much by the mistakes we've made.
100%. So that would be my thing. Just don't expect that you're going to put it together and it's going to sell itself.
Awesome. Well, I think you should make that a topic in your group too, like what not to do.
I'm gonna make that post right now.
Well, Jono, this has been so much fun talking with you, and I'm serious. We would love to have you back. You are just entertaining, engaging, and really, really smart when it comes to course creation. So, thank you so much for sharing part of your morning with us. We're going to go enjoy dinner now. I guess you can go have breakfast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my second coffee, I think.
There you go. So this is Mary Nunley and
Amadeus Dunley.
with our special guest,
Jono Petrohilos.
signing off for tonight's episode of the Create, Engage, Succeed show. We will see you all back here next week at our normal morning time or afternoon time hours. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day wherever you are.
We'll see you next time. Remember to like and subscribe.